6.9, playing what we want. Might as well go for so that nobody hurts and nobody cries. Might as well go for so that nobody drowns and nobody dies.
Hey guys and girls, welcome back to YYC Designs Custom RC Creations, where today we're going to do a little bit more work on root beer. Gotta apologize for the delay, a little bit of life got in the way, and no, I'm not trying to rhyme, it's just the way it was. Yeah, a little bit of life got in the way of getting some videos out here in the past week, so I do apologize for no videos for y'all. But we will rectify that this week for sure. Today we're going to start working, like I said, on root beer. We're going to start mounting her panels and her cab and her box and getting all that set up and getting the rear shock mounts and the transfer case mount going on. So we'll see how far we get with that. Yeah? Alrighty, let's continue on. So as you can see, I've just mounted two uprights. Now it's going to be a little difficult to visualize this. So the cab will fit in, and I'm going to bring you around the front in just a second here. So that will produce uprights to hold the cab on, as well as, now they're real hot so I'm not going to touch them yet, but it's going to give me door hinges for the doors of the cab, and it will give me something to mount the rest of the panels on for the front engine section and the fenders and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm working on now. Got to do a little bit of measuring and I'll get right back to you.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Okay, so now that we have a little better setup here, the deal is we've got a nice piece that I can actually bolt the cowl panel through here down onto the new support once it's set properly, of course. There we go. I've got to straighten it out just a little bit and a few little adjustments, but no big deal. As you can notice, I've got a good spot to bolt the cab on the back once the box is attached. And of course, now on the front here, I will extend arms out to mate up to the front rad support. Okay, so there will be an arm that will come across here at the same height, go into the front rad support and mount right under this little curvature of this part of the panel. Okay, So what that's gonna, sorry for all the glare, by the way. I've got a horrible glare going on here at this angle, but anyway, you get what I mean. As I'm going to come into here, so that way we will have the truck set up exactly the way it was designed in the first place. It actually did have supports coming from the cowl panel to the front rad support panel. That also gives us now a panel to mount the side engine supports on, and it also allows us to be able, if I can do this without dropping it, mounting the hood. So now all you got to do is imagine that front grille on there, yeah? And then of course the hood opens and you don't see anything because the supports are hidden here by the side engine panel, and the side engine panel can bolt up, or in this case I'm actually considering just using magnets to hold them on, rare earth magnets, and that way at least Rob will be able to lift away his engine panel and inspect, of course, his front suspension, his motor, and everything. Of course, there will be a motor in here hiding the electric motor as well, yeah? But it gives him access to all of that, easy access, without having to take a lot of the model apart, and that's the whole point of this. The other thing is this allows me something to attach the running boards to of the truck, because this truck of course has running boards and the flat front fenders. So that has all got to come, and that's what we'll continue on with here now.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Okay, so with a little bit of cleaning up to do, now I've gotten the rear shock mounts made and welded on. They're made again out of just a 1/2 inch piece of channel, 1 inch ground down, and the holes drilled through. Obviously, I've got to clean it up. That's why they look a little gross right now, but they will work out rather nicely with the box sitting on it. The shock mount won't protrude into the box, and that way I won't have any issues with the side step type of box that is on root beer. This is the back cab mount. Obviously, got to drill a couple of holes through there. Once I'm final, I will drill a couple, 3 holes in here, as well as through the back of the cab, so that it will mount rather nicely on there, as it should when it's done. So now that we can final where the box will be, I will get it centered, and of course drill it through the bed, and then I will have to add in the hardwood bits in the bed to make it authentic. And as you can see, the shock mounts work rather nicely under the bed. They just tuck up in here, give us lots of adjustment for the rear differential. The front now was made again out of the 1/2-inch square tube. It was channeled, and then I made it a little bit smaller yet on the channeling to make the door pillars, or at least what will become the door pillars. This will effectively allow me to add the small panel that goes in here between the engine mount and the door, of course, and it needs to be shaped and made, and then it will get either welded or riveted on. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go just yet, but that panel will be attached here and become the left and right pillars for the cab, and that will fill in the space here between the cowl panel and the windshield pillar, and fill in the space between the engine panel and where the door will be. It's about a 3/4 inch to 1 inch space going all the way down, and then of course the running boards will attach along the bottom and come into the front fenders here, and the front fenders will come up so beside the engine panel. Now, it's not finalized, obviously, so it's a little bit tricky to balance all of this stuff on there. I will do my best for y'all. But there is the front rad support, or front grill, as it were. Okay, the hood now will go on so, with the cowl panel fitting on so with the hood, and then of course the engine panels, the side engine panels, will come in here like this. Sorry, a little off on my camera work there today, sorry guys. Okay, so the engine side panels will come in so, and as you can see on the back of the engine side panel back here, that is where the space is that I've got to fill in for between the engine panel and the doors. Anyway, so that's how it's all going to go together. The front shock mounts, and of course the motor mounts are in here, leaving I've just got to put a panel in here so that I can mount my battery tray and all of that around the transfer case. So the next piece I've got to fit in right in here somewhere will be the transfer case, so that we can drive the rear diff, of course. And then of course along here on the outside of these panels will be the flat front fenders, which I've yet to make. So the next parts I'm going to end up making here are going to be just that. It'll be, once I get everything fitted here in the way I want it, I'll be making the fender and running boards and the battery tray, and welding in the transfer case mount. I've just got to do a little bit of figuring on the transfer case mount yet. Then of course I will have to cut in the front windshield and get it all ready to go. There's a little bit more shaping left to do here in this roof and this front windshield area here. I am probably going to mount a visor as well on here, because a lot of these pickups did have the visors, and so a visor will go on here. But this roof needs to be rounded somewhat, so I've got a little bit of body work left to do on the cab. Of course, I have the rear cab window cut in, and it's in where it should be. Like I say, I'll get the box mounted. The front fenders will match the rear fenders here, and it will all come up, giving the vehicle a total width of 8 inches in overall width. And it is, God, my memory's failed me all of a sudden. I've got to remeasure. I believe I'm 19 inches overall length. Yes, I am. I'm 19 inches overall length on the model. Front to back is 19 inches. And like I said, we're 8 inches wide. And I'm just under the 6 inches from the bottom of the cab to the top of the cab. It's about 5 7/8 inches overall height, so it's going to work out good, and the model will come in well under the 10, well, not well under, but it'll come in right around the 10-pound mark, 8 to 10 pounds by the time everything's in it and ready to rock and roll. And of course, I've got the tailgate I've got to mount on the back here. So the rest of it's just really a lot of small little mounts. And of course, then we've got to get on with making the forelinks for the front and the back. I'm waiting for a bit of material. The differentials are on order. They're coming. They should be here anywhere from 10 to 14 days for Root Beer's diffs, and everything will be here, and this model will be ready to start putting together for the final, getting the prep, and then, as you've all been waiting for, a first run-up video and do some test driving with this truck. So that I eagerly await, as well as y'all do. So guys and girls, that's going to be about it for this video with Root Beer. Again, I do apologize that this is the only video that has gotten out in the last 10 to 11 days. I apologize. Like I said, life got in the way. But this has been Root Beer, and I hope you all have enjoyed the video. I explained to you where we're going to go with the trucks. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up on it, and we're just waiting for some parts to come in. And I've got to get a couple of bits of more metal here so that I can make the 4-link setup, and we'll get into that in the next Root Beer video. Not sure what we're going to try and get out here for the end of the week video yet. Haven't decided, but there will be one for sure and for certain. Until then, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, as always, thank you for your support. I'm Twist, and you're watching YYC Designz, Custom RC Creations. This has been Root Beer. Take care, y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.